Hey, I'm Joel Wanasek. I'm a mixer and the co-founder of NailTheMix.com, the coolest place to learn how to mix rock and metal music on the entire internet. And today we're going to break down a really cool mix of a band I'd actually never heard of until last week. I saw Zakk Cervini post this and I checked it out, and this is a pretty cool band. The band is called 3Teeth. The song is Higher Than Death. Now, what's cool is it's featuring Mick Gordon. We all love Mick Gordon as Doom fans, and I gotta say, anytime Mick Gordon gets on a track, you know it's gonna be super sick. So let's break down this mix. It sounds pretty sick and deconstructed. All right, here we go. Okay, that sounds sick. So I'm going to loop this section around here and we're going to listen for different things while we go through this each time because there's a lot of musical information. The hard part about breaking down a mix that I feel like some people don't understand when they watch this channel is that it's so dynamic and it changes so quickly across different parts of a song that you kind of have to, you know, focus on certain things. So first thing, let's focus on balance when this comes in. It sounds really massive. I love how loud Zakk gets his mixes. Have a listen to the balances and let's see what pops out first. All right, so what do you hear? The first thing I hear is that this is extremely drum-centric. The kick drum is by far, by a few dB, the loudest thing in this mix, which is cool because it drives a lot of energy. The kick drum is also not super bright. You know, it's got a nice click and smack to it, but it's not like an 8K smack. It's more of like a 3 to 5, you know what I mean? It's got a nice like kiss to it. So the kick is very punchy. It's very snappy. The snare is cool. It's got a massive verb on it that's kind of gated where it sounds like a psh, and it kind of fades out before the next hit. I love that. It kind of throws it back to the 80s snares, and I feel like we need more of those in modern rock, so I'm a big fan. All right, so pay attention to those sounds real quick. So Zakk is driving a lot of his energy with his kick and his snare, and that's how he gets so much volume because there's so much kick and snare transient. You can really clip up your mix super loud. Other than that, here, let's listen, pay attention to the cymbals versus the guitars and bass in this mix. So the kick has got a pretty good amount of sub in it, but so does the bass. The bass extends very, very low in this mix, and this has a massive low end. The bass is very loud in the mix, and it's driving. The guitars are kind of bright and thin, but that spectrum of guitar energy just melds right into the bottom of the bass guitar. So again, pay attention to the guitar tone and the bass and how it kind of just like, you know, goes from the upper mid-range down and extends all the way to the bottom and just connects. You can hear the kick and the bass are louder than the guitar. All right, I like the scene change here, how the mix comes down. We got a different kick drum. We've got some different production. Pay attention to how the synths are kind of mixed and like prioritized. There's that bass pad in there that's kind of driving some of the bottom end. And then, you know, you've got a lot of loops there. So the loop energy keeps that big drums forward kind of vibe going through this mix. This is a common thing you're seeing in a lot of active rock producing right now. People are doing these big scene changes in drums where it's like every section kind of has a different drum sound, and it's kind of cool. So listen to how the drum scene change goes from here to the next part to the pre-chorus, and it always changes. It's pretty cool. It keeps your brain interested. How it picks up. The drums are a little bit bigger and more produced. And then we bring back full drums here. So we've had 3 drum scene changes in less than 30 seconds. And again, that's really good staging of the production. This is really cool. You can really hear the snare drum reverb here. I love how snappy the snare is versus the kick drum, okay? So the snare has a lot of transient snap on it, a lot of room on it. Like I said, almost like an 80s gated decay kind of thing. But the kick, as I said earlier, is not super bright and clicky. It's got a nice upper mid-range type, you know, lower top end attack. You can hear it clearly right here. Guitar right up there. The guitars to me sound kind of like, there's like a Pod Farm vibe to them, you know? It's either like STL or Pod Farm or something like that. That's what it sounds like to my ear. If you know that sound, you know what I'm talking about. You can hear it. Again, drums up, guitars are automated up here. They're a little bit louder than earlier, but it's still a drum and bass mix. Even the production is kind of like takes a backseat on the chorus and he favors the guitar balance more. All right, so pay attention to the drums here. So we've had 3 drum scene changes in less than 30 seconds. And again, that's really cool. You can really hear the scene changes in drums where it's like every section kind of has a different drum sound, and it's kind of cool. So listen to how the drum scene change goes from here to the next part to the pre-chorus, and it always changes. It's pretty cool. It keeps your brain interested.
All right, so
Pay attention to the scene change here on this drums, right? Because the cymbals come up on the next part and they're a little bit quieter in the chorus. Kind of a cool automation move because it's like you're like guitars up, you know, on the chorus, big iconic epic vocals, and then all of a sudden cymbals are kind of down. All of a sudden like the riff comes in and the guitars actually come back a little bit and the cymbals come back, giving it more drum energy and making it a little bit more aggressive. And he brings up some of the synths to make them more of the forefront to take the space that the vocals were in. Okay, so pay attention to those things now. Let's listen to that transition. Vocals, pay attention. Vocals are mixed super loud, definitely very, very forward. To me, that's a rock thing. Like Christian rock, for example, is like the loudest vocals of any radio market I've ever mixed for. Active rock is usually pretty loud, just like pop vocals. If we're mixing metal, usually the vocal levels are down. This is mixed very, very vocal forward. And I like the whisper, how intense and in front he's mixed it. Now, this is interesting on the scene change because the vocals are really loud and then they back down here quite a bit as the vocals picks up intensity. And we keep the same relative vocal level going through this. There are a lot of doubles on this, you know. There's a lot of like stereo information and overdubs, you know. There's a lot going on in the vocals. And what's cool is like there's a synth in there that actually mirrors the vocal line and it's behind it. If you listen carefully, it kind of almost blends into the backing vocals. Pay attention also to the vocal effects here. I love the reverb. It's a really cool iconic sound. I think it kind of matches the snare drum. It's like the same kind of vibe. It puts it in a very similar space. Pretty cool band. I'm glad I discovered this one because like I said, I'd never heard of this band until about last week, but it's super cool. Love what Mick Gordon and Zakk did. Phenomenal mix, super loud, super modern, super aggressive. Sounds fantastic. Love all the production. Love the song. Great band. So thank you so much for watching this. Of course, if you like this, click the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Doing mix breakdowns every once in a while and always doing rants on different mixing topics and stuff like that. If you want to learn how to mix, there's nailthemix.com. I'm also doing a lot of mixing content and things like that on my Instagram and TikTok. That's at Joel Wanasek. If you got a band you want me to react to, drop it in the comments below. I do take your suggestions and look for cool things and mixes I think are really, really awesome to highlight them on this channel. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and happy mixing.